And we are back. Welcome to a brand new series on the channel. This is Esso versus Erik on the Esso 99 gaming channel on Football Manager 2024. Now, this series was originally going to be on a certain game's career mode. However, since we are fully boycott EA, check out last week's video for my reasonings behind that. We are instead doing this series over here on Football Manager 2024. And the premise is that I am going to attempt to do better than what Erik Ten Hag did in charge of Manchester United this season.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
So firstly, we've got to make sure that we look the part. And you know what? I don't think I've done too badly here. You know, we've got the hair, we've got the red tie. Obviously, mine has the Manchester United badge on it.
Ooh, you're hard showing off.
Whereas our guy over here sadly does not. But I think that's not a bad look-alike for myself here. And what I've done is I've taken control, obviously, of Manchester United, and I've played through all of the pre-season. So episode 1 that will be coming out tomorrow is going to be the first game of the season, which is Manchester United at home to Wolves. Now, what you will notice is that is actually the correct first fixture of the season, because what I have done is I've installed a mod on Football Manager, which means that all of the fixtures are in the correct order, meaning that we can run this series as a literal parallel to how Manchester United's season went. So we've got Wolves at home, Tottenham away, Forest at home, Arsenal away, etc, etc, etc. And every single episode will be competing to see if we can perform better than what Manchester United did in that respective fixture. And then hopefully at the end of the season end up in a higher league position. Who knows? Maybe we'll win the league. We'll try not to get knocked out of the Champions League like we were in the group stage. And we'll see if we can go any further in the FA Cup and League Cup. Obviously, we are in the FA Cup final next weekend, and we'll actually have an episode coming out on that day, because the way I'm going to run this series is I'm going to have 4 episodes a week, and each episode will be the next match. So my planned schedule for this is Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So you'll get a double bill Sunday into Monday with 2 fixtures there. But yeah, 4 times a week, and we're going to try and do better than what Erik Ten Hag has done at Manchester United this season. Before we wrap up this video, I'm going to talk you through the squad, because there's a couple of other things to address as well. So the way I've got it set up is that all transfers will also happen as they happened over the course of the season. So if we scroll down to the likes of Fred, you're going to see that he is going to be joining Fenerbahce. Eric Bailly is going to be joining Besiktas. Dean Henderson is going to be joining Crystal Palace. Rasmus Højlund has just been signed. Mason Greenwood is going to go on loan to Getafe. Even Jadon Sancho will go to Borussia Dortmund in January. And even though we've not signed Reguilon yet, because we're still the first game of the season, we will sign Reguilon from Spurs, and he will then go back to Spurs and on to Brentford in January as things happened in real life. So I can't make any additional signings for the purpose of this series. I am stuck with the squad that Erik Ten Hag had. And on top of that, as you can see, injuries has carried over as well. So Malacia is out for the entire season. It says 2 to 4 months, but my expectation is that that will end up then being the entire season. Ahmad is injured until Christmas, as he was originally in this season as well. The only question I don't know about is, are players going to get injuries that they got during the season? So like, we know that, for example, Lisandro Martinez played the first couple of games of the season, then got injured up until Christmas. So is that going to happen, or is that not going to happen because I'm now trying to play the season slightly differently? Those people who know Football Manager, let me know down in the comment section below, because obviously my job here is to try and do better than what Erik Ten Hag did. And if I feel as though I can keep players protected from injury, then I'm going to do that. But obviously the ones that are starting the season out injured, like Malacia, like Diallo, like Rasmus, who missed the first 2 weeks of the season due to injury as well, obviously we can't do anything about that. So let me know in the comments if that's going to happen or not. But that's going to be the premise of the series. We're going to be as accurate as possible to real life football. And I believe the mod that I've installed even knows the results of the other games that took place this season. So could be very interesting to see how that plays out. I don't know how far that goes, because obviously the last game of the season would have just happened and I've already started this season, so it's not going to know those results. But it'd be interesting to know how far through the season it's going to know every result from the Premier League so far this season. Obviously, our results will end up being differently as we manipulate the games to our own way. So finally, before we round it off, I'm just going to show you the tactics that I've put together for this series. So my primary tactic for this series is going to be a 4-3-3 formation. And this is just based off of the players that have performed for me so far in pre-season. And obviously Rasmus has gone up front for now. But it's a 4-3-3 with one holding midfielder, two creative-minded midfielders. Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes are the two in there at the moment, based on how they've played in the preseason matches that I have done with this squad so far. Obviously, Rasmus up front for now, just to show you how we do intend to play. But obviously, he is injured for the first few games, so we'll probably put Rashford up front and Garnacho on the left for those first couple of games. I have set up an alternative tactic, though, which is a 3-4-3 formation. And in this system, as we will not play Casemiro, we will bring in Lindelof to form a back three, allowing Dalot and Luke Shaw to push further forward, but also allow Martinez and Varane to step up into midfield and use their ball-playing abilities to actually influence the game. I honestly think in real life, Manchester United should look at playing a 3-4-3. I think it's a very underrated formation in real football at the moment, and I just think we have so many players that would suit it. Bring in another left wing-back player, move Shaw into left centre-back for if Martinez is unavailable, or move Martinez into the centre. I just think there's so much fluidity that the players Manchester United have could benefit from this. Like, you could see Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo potentially playing in that midfield, letting Dalot roam free, letting the wingers have less defensive responsibilities, have it where the wingers can switch sides and then put crosses into Højlund. I really think this could benefit Manchester United, and I'm really curious to see how this is going to perform for us in game. That's basically the two formations I'm going to use. I have set up an ultra defensive setup as well, whereby we would then take out Mount and bring Casemiro in as a holding midfielder, just to see out games in sort of, like I say, more like a 3-3-3-1 formation, just to see out games, but no 4-2-3-1. I just don't think 4-2-3-1 suits Manchester United. I think we're much more suited to allow that little bit more fluidity in midfield and also allow players to come back a bit more. I feel like when it's two, they get a little bit too stuck in their shape. And I think we need to allow the likes of Fernandes, Mount, whoever is going to be playing in that midfield to actually come back naturally and be a little bit sharper. So for me, it's either going to be a 4-3-3 or it's going to be a 3-4-3. But that is going to be it for this episode 0. Like I say, the first game is going to be played in tomorrow evening's episode. It's going to be Manchester United against Wolves in a repeat of the first game of the actual season proper. Let's see how this goes. If you're looking forward to this series, let me know by dropping a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Like I said, we're going to be doing this 4 days a week, and make sure you are continuing to boycott EA. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 1.